Subscribe to Smartphone Tutorials and hit the notification bell icon to get instant notification. Alright guys, welcome to another video, and today we are going to do a quick review for Corvus OS. Yes, the ROM which is based on OSS vendor. I used it for a couple of days. What are my thoughts about it? How practical is it to use a ROM based on OSS vendor compared to MIUI ones? You will come to know in today's video. But before we begin, as I mentioned earlier, we are looking for a small crowdfunding for the Pocophone F1 from your end. Even if we can have 150 people contributing just $1, we will be able to get a used Pocophone F1, and then once we stop making videos on that particular device, I will be giving it away to one lucky subscriber. Now, without further ado, hello awesome people, welcome to Smartphone Tutorials. My name is Kailash. Let's get going. Alright guys, so let's begin with the full review for Corvus OS. Now what we are looking at over here is the version of Corvus OS which is 8.5 Sage official. Now this is a small bug that we initially saw in the install and preview video, that it shows 5.128 instead of 6.128. The security patch is 5th of August 2020 and all the other details are available. It does come with the Immensity kernel and the build date is the 25th of August. Alright, so first things first, let's begin with the launcher. Now if we go here, we go to Corvus settings, you see icons. You can have different types of icon packs. You can have a different type of icon size, which is really nice. Now this is something which you don't see in a lot of ROMs. You have a lot of home screen or the launcher settings at a glance, add to lines, lock the desktop, show gradient top, show Google app. All these options are also available. And apart from this, let's go back there. You have gestures, clear on, swipe button from the recent view, notification gestures, double tap gestures, screen off, flashlight. So this is really handy and this is really nice. I really appreciate such level of customizations. And then we have miscellaneous options as well. So before we actually begin the full review, let me tell you, this is a ROM which is based on OSS vendor, which is open source vendor. This is not the MIUI vendor based. It does come with the Mi9 FOD. FOD means fingerprint or finger on display, as this phone comes with a in-screen fingerprint scanner. Now that was everything about the launcher. What we're going to talk about next, which is really interesting, is the camera situation. Now as you can see over here, we just have one camera, which is the ANX camera, and I really appreciate when developers take the effort to include ANX camera as a default camera for any ROM. So yeah, everything pretty much works, but what I did notice over here is it does have a bug wherein in portrait mode it doesn't really work that well. Maybe clearing the data for ANX camera might help, but yeah, I always prefer to use the ROM as it is and let you know what difficulties I faced. Apart from this, the ANX camera is your MIUI camera. Pretty much it works just fine. Everything works as expected, so no complaints there. That is the stock MIUI camera that is available in this particular ROM. Now this is an AOSP based ROM, so you can of course install Gcam and you should be good to go. Now that was everything about the camera. Let's go ahead and actually talk about theming and customization. Now when we started the video, you did see that some sort of theming is already available in the launcher itself, but that is not all. If you see over here, now before we begin, if you see over here, like every time, so all these icons, they have different colors. This is not really my choice, but I have kept it to show you guys that it does have a lot of customization. And let's go to settings over here and go to Raven's Lair. So this is the customization menu, and if you go to themes, this is the theming section. So let's actually start with the theming section. You have the standard accent picker over here. You can choose whatever color you want and things will just instantly apply. Anyways, you can select different types of font and bam, it changes immediately. So you can choose different types of icon shape. Now let me show you that over here. You see the icon shape of these tiles is changing. We changed it to cylinder. We can now go to rounded hexagon. It'll take a couple of seconds to apply. So there you go. So let's switch it back to default. Alright, now if you see the QS style, there are a lot of options over here. Let's keep it star. There you go. That looks really weird. Well, let's say dotted circle. It's gonna change. Ooh, that looks neat. So yeah, the customization in terms of theme is already there. You have this baked green color, then you have the Google dark color, which is not exactly dark. Then you have my favorite, the pitch black color. So, you know, all of that is there. You can have a switch style. So as you can see over here. Now, to tell you the truth, this does really look nice, and it works a treat because, and you can also, you know, schedule the system themes, turn on at a custom time. That is something I've not seen in any other custom ROM. Now, that was the theming part. Let's look at the Raven's Lair. That is the customization menu. Now, one thing that I appreciate in custom ROMs is, now you can always give, you know, a whole lot of customization, but how you organize it, how you present it, it really matters there. So as you can see over here, everything is organized: system, notifications, miscellaneous, lock screen items, fingerprint preferences. You have a ton of animations over here. You can disable the authentication vibration and stuff like that. You also have battery options, carrier labels, status bar clock options, traffic indicators, and then you have buttons, navigation, power menu. You can actually, you know, hide the power menu on the lock screen. So all in all, you know, the theming and customization options in this particular ROMs is super amazing. It works perfectly fine. As far as looks are concerned, if you have the creative side, which I'm not that creative when it comes to customizing phones, you can make a lot of different options for this particular ROM. Alright, so next up, let's talk about the battery and charging. Now, the battery life for me on this ROM has been excellent. It is not bad, it has been excellent as I said, but if you have a look, you know, I usually am getting 5 to 6 hours of screen on time across 2 to 3 days that I've been using this ROM. I have played games on it, I have done extensive calls and a lot of other things. So the battery life won't disappoint you, and to tell you the truth, I have been using both the chargers with this particular phone, my 18-watt stock charger that comes with the phone, and this new baby over here, which is a 27-watt charger which I have recently purchased. Let me know in the comment section if you would want me to make a comparison video of 18 watts versus 27 watts for the K20 Pro, how much is the difference and all the other things. But I can tell you that with the stock charger, it charges at up to 2 amperes, that is 18 watts, and it does take the full potential out of these chargers. So the battery relatively charges faster compared to MIUI. Now next up, we're going to talk about the audio situation over here. As always, this is a custom ROM. The sound selection is pretty good. You do have vibration and haptics and all the other options available over here. So you have live caption, you have direct sound enhancer. So depending on the headset type, you can change the customization. You can choose a sound preset, you can enable hi-fi, and the sound quality is really good. So that is one good thing. And there is a bug related to Bluetooth earphones and wired inline earphones wherein the remote buttons don't work. So that is actually because this has a OSS vendor, and as far as I've checked on the Telegram group, that should be fixed really soon for the OSS ROMs. But apart from that, the sound quality and everything else is perfectly fine. Now next up, let's talk about the dialer and calling. So one good thing about this particular ROM is the dialer is great. Wi-Fi calling works just fine, but it does work on SIM 1. Now this is something that I would like to address in the bug section later, but as far as I'm concerned, there is one major thing that this dialer is missing, that is built-in call recording. Now that is something I appreciate Resurrection Remix for, and that is not available here, but you can always install Magisk modules and all the other things. And as far as the network strength, the connectivity and all the other things like the LTE signal, the mobile data, the Wi-Fi strength, all these things are working just fine. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about here is the fingerprint and security. Now, because this is a Mi9 FOD and not a LOS FOD, people would think that it either works better than other custom ROMs or worse than other custom ROMs. But let me tell you something very clearly. It works similarly to the way it works on Resurrection Remix. Now, you do see I have 4 fingerprints set up over there. It's not exactly 4. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos as well, I actually use 2 fingerprints, that is both of my thumbs. Now, as you can see over here, you have a ton of animations and double tap to wake, double tap to, this just works fine. The fingerprint is perfectly fine. There is no problem with the fingerprint at all, and the security is okay. I've added both of my thumbs twice. Face unlock works just fine. You can directly bypass the screen. So all the usual custom ROM related security is there. So this is not really a big deal. You can choose to encrypt the ROM, or you can flash DFE, and you can decide to decrypt the ROM as well. Next up, we're going to talk about the DRM info and banking applications, and I would not spend a lot of time on that. I'm happy to report that everything works just fine for me. Google Pay works, my HDFC Bank app works. For that matter, I have this ROM rooted because I use Swift backup, which needs root, and it works just fine. All you have to do is you have to hide Magisk Manager and also use Magisk Hide. And if at all you have a problem, you just have to use the safety net Magisk module and you're good to go. As far as other things like Prime Video and everything else is concerned, Netflix works fine. So Widevine certification is not really a problem on this particular ROM. The next thing that we're going to talk about RAM management and gaming. Now, as you can see on my screen, I do have Call of Duty loaded, and we do have a dedicated gaming mode. We do have FPS counter. We do have screen recording. And if we talk about audio and graphics, everything is maxed out. Okay. So the game is loading now, and let me just show you. It looks beautiful. So the game looks beautiful, and actually I'm doing this in front of the camera, so ignore the gameplay. Don't judge me there. But as you can see, it works very smooth. Just keep a close eye on the FPS over here. Okay, let's select this. I have not set up my controls because I've not played this game in a while. But let me actually try to play a match and show it to you guys. As you can see, it is doing above 60 FPS most of the time. It's not even dropping to 59 or something like that. Okay. As you can see, the gameplay is butter smooth, and I have played this for extended hours. It doesn't really heat up a lot. So as far as gaming is concerned, I can tell you very clearly, this is one of the best gaming ROMs available. Rest in peace AIM, as people would say on my live stream on the gaming channel. But yeah, I guess that is enough to, go ahead and tell you that this particular ROM is very good for gaming. Now, of course, I'm in India and PUBG is not available over here, so I'm not going to show you the gameplay for that. But I can tell you that the RAM management on this thing is as good as RR. You can see the number of applications that I have open, and the phone would not show any sluggishness or any slowness at all. So the RAM management is pretty good. What we're going to talk about next is the bugs in this particular ROM. That is a very important section because this ROM is based on OSS vendor. Right off the bat, the biggest bug for me is wired headphones and Bluetooth audio devices. I use the Bluetooth audio a lot for my helmet on the motorbike when I ride to work or anything else. That is a daily use case. I use it for 2 to 3 hours, and I use wireless earbuds as well. So it actually doesn't, handle the controls well, so you cannot pause or play the music with a wired or wireless earphones. That is one bug. The second bug is Wi-Fi calling would not work on second SIM card, but then again, that is a okay, it's not really a deal breaker. That's about it. If we were to talk about drawbacks, it just doesn't have call recording, but on the plus side, it does come with ANX camera. So all in all, what is the conclusion? Well, if you are okay with controlling your audio through the phone, and if Wi-Fi calling for the second SIM card doesn't really bother you a lot, this is a very good gaming ROM. It works butter smooth, the battery life is good, the phone charges fast. Corvus OS from me gets a big thumbs up. If those small bugs that we have, if they can fix it, it would be an extremely amazing ROM. So let me know in the comment section, how did you find the video? And we're gonna have a lot of videos coming up, and as soon as the Poco is back, that will be a lot of fun as well. So until the next one, this is Kailash signing off at Smartphone Tutorials. Keep smiling, take care, goodbye.